further ado, today we will be doing Latin American dishes presented by Danny, Andrea, and Abraham from LSA. And they will be doing two different things, pupusas and pastillas de carne. And they will give us a little presentation about LSA and what they will be making. So I'll hand it all over to them.
Hi everyone, it's great to meet all of you. I'm really happy that you decided to take some time out of your Saturday to join us and learn how to make these amazing dishes with us. Just a little introduction, I'm actually with CAFE, which is Central Americans for Empowerment, and our mission as an organization is to provide a voice through civic engagement, political, cultural education, and advocacy regarding Central Americans at home and throughout the diaspora. You can find the links if you want to catch up with us and keep up to date with our events right there on the slide. As a Central Americans for Empowerment, I was really excited to be working with Andrea to help her prep for this event because pupusas, as some of you are familiar with, are a big part of our Central American culture and identity. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here today and to help Andrea and all of you present this amazing dish. And with that, I'll pass it on to Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea. So Danny and I are part of LSA, Latinx Student Alliance, and one of our main goals is to promote an inclusive, diverse, and equitable environment for both Hispanic Latinx students and all students of UVA, as well as planning events and coordinating initiatives that support like cultural, social, academic, and professional development of the Hispanic and Latinx community. So here I've listed like the Facebook and Instagrams if you guys want to like follow and see like other events we have planned as well. So Abraham, can you go to the next slide?
Yeah, and just for those of you who aren't familiar with pupusas, they are the typical dish of El Salvador, and they come in many different types. There's cheese, they come in beans and cheese, loroco, which is a type of flour, chicharrón, revuelta, which is my personal favorite, shrimp, and basically any combination of flavors that you can think of. And they also are usually served with curtido and salsa, which is curtido is like a pickled cabbage and vegetable like mixture. And a fun fact that I didn't know is that El Salvador actually has a National Pupusa Day, which is the second Sunday of November, which is really cool because who doesn't love pupusas? I mean, so yeah, I'll pass it on to the next slide for Danny's.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
It keeps on like muting me. But okay, so I'm gonna be making pastelillos de carne. So this pastry is found like throughout Latin America. And depending on what country like it's made in, it's gonna have a different like name, but also they make them differently too in different countries. So pastelillo is what they call them, like pastelillo and empanadilla is what you'll hear in Puerto Rico. Pastelito you'll hear in Dominican Republic and El Salvador as well. And empanada is like Argentina and I think Spain is what they call them there too. So it's like, but they come in different like variations as well. So the ones that I'll be making are the Puerto Rican ones, which you can see like on the top right. And then I included like a picture of like the Salvadoran one too, which is like in the bottom. So they can come, like they can be stuffed with like many different things like meat, chicken, and sometimes they can be like sweet too. Like there's pastelillos that have guava in it. And pastelillos are like made a lot during like Christmas and like other holidays as well.
All right, well, thank you guys for your presentation. I guess we can now move on to the actual cooking class. So, Andrea, you're going first, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm making pupusas right now. So I have the masa already prepared. So basically it's just like the flour. So we use this one, it's like a corn flour. And then just mix it with water. And you have to make sure that it's more like of a clay type texture. You don't want it to be too hard because then like the pupusas will start to crack and stuff like that. So then here I have the cheese, and then I have the chicharrón, which is already prepared. I bought it like already pre-made, but in the recipe I put in case you wanna make it yourself. And then in this plate I just have some oil. So like as you're making them, you wanna make sure to have you have oil on your hand so the masa doesn't stick to your hand. So first, I just grab a small amount, like about this much, like a golf ball, I guess, like that much. And you just make it into a little circle. And then you want to like make a little hole in it. And then that's where you're gonna start putting the chicharrón and the queso inside. So then I grab like, you just want to fill it as much as you can so it's not like too empty inside. Then you grab some cheese as well. You can mix the cheese and the chicharrón together before adding it in here. It's up to you if you want. And then you just want to make sure that you fill it in as much as you want. And then to close it, you kind of want to start like pulling the sides up a little bit more. And then you kind of just start twisting it into like a little circle until it closes up. And then the excess, like if you have a little bit of excess so you don't have too much dough, you kind of want to just take that part off. And you make it into a little circle again. Want to make sure everything is closed. And grab a little bit of oil just so it doesn't stick to your hand. Then you kind of want to just start. And you can make it as big as you like. It kind of depends on the person. So I kind of make them like, I don't make them too big. It's just personal preference, I guess. And then you just want to put it on the pan. So I put a little bit of oil on it, not too much. You don't want to like fry them because then it'll just be like very oily. So you want to like just put a little bit of oil on there just so it can heat up the pan. Another thing is that I've seen different techniques of using this. So so last week with Abraham, when we were doing a practice, he says that he uses like a plastic. So instead of like making it like in your hand, so you can also use like a plastic bag, put it down, so you can like squish it down, so you can like put the food in and everything. I don't know, Abraham, do you want to talk about that or something?
Yeah, so this is just a technique that helps for beginners. If you are like still new to like forming the tortillas and it doesn't come to you like as easily, like what you can do is just take like a Ziploc bag, maybe like cut it open and then just use your hands to like press it out into the shape of the tortilla. It's an alternative, like if just doing it with your hands is like difficult, so.
So you want to leave it cooking on the pan for about like 3 minutes on one side, then you flip it, and 3 minutes on the other side. Does anyone have any questions? So,
What's your favorite filling for a pupusa?
I usually like chicharrón con queso, so like these types. But revueltas are also pretty good, which is just like beans, cheese, and the chicharrón. It's the same process for all of them. You kind of just like you just put it inside the masa, and then you just put it into like a tortilla type shape. These are usually like, I don't have any right now, but like they're eaten with curtido and salsa. So like curtido is like cabbage. It's like in vinegar. So you put like carrots, you could put jalapenos and cauliflower, like different vegetables in it, and you just put it with like vinegar. And then the salsa is like a tomato salsa. You can make. I usually use mozzarella and like shredded mozzarella cheese. Pupusas are also like eaten. They're not really like during a specific time of day. It's kind of just like you can eat them for dinner, you can eat them for lunch or breakfast or anything. They're sold like in El Salvador. They're sold like street vendors, so you can buy them at really any time of the day, and like it's really fulfilling.
How many do you usually make for yourself?
Well, at home we kind of make them like for everyone. So like we make a lot, but like usually like one person eats like maybe 2 or 3, depending on really how hungry you are.
Sounds like a challenge.
I mean, I think this is like kind of like a tradition. Like I don't know, like in my family, like I learned growing up, like this is just like a typical type of meal that we made growing up, and so like we kind of learned this at like a young age and stuff. We make this pretty often at home because like I'm from El Salvador, so like this is like a very typical dish that we eat, and so we eat it pretty often. Let me just need to make sure to close it again.
Where did you go to buy the chicharron?
The chicharron. I'm in Charlottesville right now. So there's this store about like 10 minutes away. It's called Super Amanecer. It's like near Ming Dynasty. It's like right next to it. So it's like this Latin market. So I just like you go to like the meat section, and they usually have it in like these little freezers type thing. And it came in a bag, kind of like this, and it said like chicharron on there. And the masa, you can find it. I think you can find this at Walmart as well. I bought it from the same store, but you can buy it from Walmart. And then the cheese, I bought it from the same store. It came in like this bag. So it said like Super Amanecer, and it's just like cheese. But you could get mozzarella cheese, like shredded, if you want, from like Walmart or something, and use that as well. The chicharron, you don't have to cook it. Like I put it in the freezer and then just took it out like the night before, just so it could like not be frozen anymore. And then like you just put it in a bowl, like as long as it's not like really cold. And then it cooks when you're when it's in there.
So how do you make chicharron from scratch? The one that you use.
Yeah, so I included that in the recipe. It's basically, so you buy like pork shoulder, I think, and you like chop it up into very small pieces. And you add like, you add tomato, you add like green pepper, stuff like that, and you like all mix it together in like a blender.
Cool.
Is there a specific sauce that you eat the pupusas with?
It's like a tomato sauce. Like you can buy it already pre-made. It comes in these like blue bags, and it like says salsa for pupusas. So you can really just like buy like that. It's pretty sure it's sold at Walmart as well, and like Latin markets and stuff like that. Or you can make it yourself with like tomato. All of this is included in the recipe as well, in case you guys want to try it out yourself or just buy it from the store. So these are almost done. I don't know if you guys can see. So once they look kind of like this, you know that they're done, and then that's pretty much it for pupusa. And since these are pretty easy to make, like you can make a lot if you like in one go. Like this, I only used half of it, and I still have like a lot left. So. Danny, do you want to start your pasteles?
Yeah. I'm about to go.
Does anyone have any more questions?
Wait, I'll just let them ask you any questions they have. So does anyone have any questions for Andrea before I start the pastelillos? No. Okay, I'm gonna start then. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is I already have my garlic and my onions cut up already for time, but basically the first.
Turn on my camera. Huh?
Did somebody ask something? No? Okay. So you're gonna put oil into the pan, and then you're gonna put it at medium or medium high.
Kind of oil or just any vegetable oil will work?
Any vegetable oil will work. I am using just olive oil right now.
For the masa, you can pre-buy it, or do you make them yourself?
Are you talking to Andrea?
No, Danny, for los
Oh.
pastelitos, like la masa, do you made it yourself, or?
No, you buy the Goya disc, or I buy the Goya disc because I don't know how to make the masa from scratch. But the Goya discs are fine. My mom makes them from scratch, like the masa, but I don't know how she does it. So, but okay, so once you put the oil in and you start heating it up, you're gonna put the garlic in. I put them in a cup, so it's like hard to get it out because it gets sticky.
I have a very stupid question. Danny?
Yeah.
So the discs,
Uh-huh.
are those the same as tortillas or are they different?
Oh, they are different from tortillas.
Okay. I told you it was a stupid
Don't
question.
use a tortilla or it's not going to be good. I guess
What
if
are
it's
the
in a
discs?
taco, I don't know. That- but no, this is different. This is called they're called Goya disc for empanadas. That's what they're called. And then you're gonna add the onions too with the garlic. Then you're gonna saute them until they're like almost like translucent. So do that for like a minute or so.
You mentioned that your mom makes the discs from scratch. Does she have like a special secret recipe that's better than all of the others you've tried, as moms usually do?
I'm not sure. I really don't know. I think she does it in a similar way as like Andrea did her masa for the pupusas, like where she like uses something like some sort of flour and then water to make the disc. I don't know. I use the Goya disc. I like the Goya disc better, to be honest. Um, After that, you're gonna put the tomato sauce in. And the sofrito. Where's the freaking?
Yeah, in Argentina it's weird because we cook them usually in the oven. I don't know if you're gonna cook them in the oven.
Yeah. So right now I'm making the meat stuffing for it, like the stuffing for it. So you add the sazon too. So this is the sazon that you add. It's con culantro y achiote. So you add it to the thing to make it like seasoned. And you're gonna add oregano as well to it. and the olives, the Spanish olives. What? So, yeah. If you don't like olives, you don't have to put it in it, but they taste really good with olives, in my opinion. And you can add a little bit of like the juice to add flavor to it. And once you added all of this, you can start you can add the meat to it, which is just like ground beef.
I think in the presentation you mentioned that there are some pastelillos that are made with guava.
With what?
Guava?
Yes, there is.
So are they like,
But mhm.
so is that like a dessert one or?
Yeah, it's a dessert. Yeah, it's sweet. Yeah, so it's not like you're adding the guava and the meat or something like that. No, it's a dessert one. It's sweet. So you can make it sweet too. So once you add the meat, you're gonna like want to crush it and like mix it in with everything, right?
Danny, how often would you say you make these?
Um, I guess like I make these like once a month.
So is this one of your favorite dishes that you like to make?
Um, it's not. It's good. Like it's a good dish, but like it's not one of my favorites. But it's easy. It's pretty easy to make too, compared to like other stuff. Like my favorite dish is probably mofongo, but it's very hard to make, I think. And like especially for a cooking class, like I would take a long time, like too long to have like a cooking class for it, I feel like.
What is mofongo made of?
Mofongo is basically so basically mofongo, you have green plantains and then you smash them with this thing. With this thing, it's called the pilon. And once you smash the plantains, like okay, so what you do is that you fry the green plantains first, and then once you fry them, you smash them here with like garlic and like a little bit of chicharron, and you make like basically like a almost like a dough out of the plantain stuff, and then you like make like shrimp or whatever you want to put it inside of the dough or like on the outside of it. Does that make sense? Or is that?
But it would be like pastelizos will like that work as like the masa for like to add filling, or
No, it's not. It's not like pastelillos at all. It's like, um, let me share a picture real quick, or you can,
How do you spell it? You can just put it in the chat.
yeah, okay, I'll just put it there, and then you can show it. But yeah, it's like it's different. It's like almost like a bowl type looking thing. Yeah.
Wait, quick question, Danny.
Mhm.
Do you remember? Wait, okay, is it? Oh, wait, hold up. Let me remember how to speak. Pastelitos is the one de carne, right? And then empanadas would be like the plátano with like the condensed milk, right? Or am I doing it backwards?
Pastelillo is it's almost like an empanada, but like well I don't know because like I think the empanadas they're called it's just like empanada is something different in
Plátano.
everywhere, right?
Okay, yeah.
So like it's almost like a you know how Argentinians have empanadas?
Mm.
It's like pastelillos are kind of like that, but they're different because there's also like empanadas in Puerto Rico that are different than pastelillos.
Okay, because I don't know if like in San Salvador they're different, but I'm pretty sure it's like empanadas are like the sweet ones, and then pastelillos are like the savory ones. I think. I'm not exactly sure though, because I always confuse them.
Yeah, I don't know about yeah, but I said like these were kind of like empanadas, like or like, but like I was when I said that I meant like the ones that like people know as empanadas, if that makes sense. Because I feel like if you look at the thing here, it says this for empanada, not this for pastelillo.
Yeah, okay, I think that's where I get confused because I'm pretty sure my grandma was just like, no, those are empanadas, like the sweet ones. And then kind of like quesadilla, how like it's the pan dulce. Or I think it's also just regional actually. Never mind. I have no point here. I just
You're good.
overall
I
don't know what
think
I'm talking about.
yeah, because I remember Abraham telling me that he was making like empanadas or something, and that he was making them out of plantains.
Yeah, and then like
So I
it's the
think
sweet
there
ones.
is like, yeah, I think there is like empanadas that are like plantain based too.
Mm.
But these ones aren't. This one's just like these guys. So it's like an harina.
Is it like corn flour or is that like what's it called? Like flour, if that made any sense.
Is it like white flour or white? Wait,
Like
what?
like sorry, do you know like is it like corn flour or is it like regular like flour? If that
Oh, it's like regular flour.
okay.
Yeah, it's not corn flour. But I've seen them been made by like in corn flour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
hmm Does anyone else have questions?
I have another question, sorry.
hmm
How's your day been?
Oh, it's been good. I mean, I woke up early today because I had to cut like the onions and
You
shit.
did?
Yeah.
Did you cry?
Did I cry? No, I
Yeah.
don't cry with red onions. Usually I cry with the white ones,
The
but I don't
whites?
like. That's why I don't like using the white ones. Also, they're not as good.
I don't
I'm
know. If you
biased
eat the
towards
raw
red
ones,
onions.
the purple
Huh?
onions are good. If you eat them raw, the purple ones are good. But I like the white ones in cooking.
Hmm.
Wait, you use goggles? Oh, sorry. Maybe I should just mute myself and go back to the chat.
No, I do
Me
not
too.
use goggles.
I have like goggles separated to cut onions.
Stop.
It's
That's
a life
OP.
hack. It's a
Okay.
life hack.
It's too powerful. Wait, I just gotta deal with it. I like to cry, you know? I like to feel like I'm human.
Ashley had a cooking class last year, and she made me cut the onions, and I was crying. I don't know
You
what
said
it
these are man
was.
tears.
I think it might
Okay.
have been me, Danny.
What? What about it?
That it might have been me that made you cut onions.
You had a cooking class too?
I did have a cooking class. I actually cooked empanadas,
I don't remember that.
but
Did I go?
Argentinian style. I think so. Yeah, I think I have
Memories,
pictures.
Oh my god! How do I not remember this?
Mm.
I remember going to Ashley's for sure.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
She made arroz con habichuela and she made plantains,
Plantains.
like the maduro.
Mm-hmm. That was good.
Wait, I have a question, Danny. I don't know if your family does this, but do you guys just stick like a whole plátano in like the oven and wait for it to like what's it called? Kind of like grill. I don't know what it's like. What do you guys call it? I don't know. Like you literally just stick a whole like plátano in the oven and then just wait till the plátano turns black. And then
No,
it's
I've
like,
never seen that done.
oh, okay. Maybe it's just my family.
I usually with my noodles, you just like cut them into slices and then like fry them.
No, we've never done that. All right, let me go back to that chat. Sorry, guys.
Oh, if your knife is sharpened, you can prevent the onions from making you cry. That's the first time I hear that.
Danny, are you cooking from your dorm?
Huh?
Are you cooking in your dorm?
Yeah, I am. I'm using my roommate's pan, this one right now, because I need to use two, so I won't have to fry this in the same pan that I fried this or
Oh,
make this.
isn't it like you use a pan that's like older? Because like apparently the older the pan, like the better your food tastes. Or is that just like a wives' tale?
Why? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know
Never
that
heard that
like
before?
I know that if you make like rice and you make it in the old pans, you get
Yeah.
big owl, which is like
A little
crisp
crust.
rice.
Yeah.
But if you make it with the new pans, it doesn't work.
I just found out in TikTok that you need to curate your pans. So when you buy them, you have to do
What?
this whole like ritual with like oil to curate your pan. I had no
Was it?
idea.
Did you see
What?
that with like this
I did
Chinese
not know
lady?
either. Okay,
Oh,
so now we're going into phase two, the actual making of the empanadas or pastelillos. So I keep on putting my spoon here.
My favorite thing is watching Danny try to read the comments as he's like squinting. Best thing. 10 out of 10.
I mean, Danny's setup.
What?
Where do you have your laptop?
I have it
I'm
on top,
curious.
like on top of the refrigerator.
Oh,
What?
Okay, so this part, okay, I'm gonna have to change the angle of my laptop for this part because, um, wait, you can see this, right? The plate with
Yeah.
the,
Yeah,
okay,
we can
Yeah.
see.
never mind then. I don't have to change it from how it is because I need you guys to be able to see how to close them. Because if you don't close them bright, the meat gets out of it. Like, you need to know how to seal them right. So you're gonna take two spoons of meat. You don't have to get olives if you don't want to, but they taste really good with olives. But my sister hates olives, so I usually take it off. Like I just don't put them on her thing because everyone else likes them. So, and then you put like one like slice of cheddar cheese. Then you're gonna go like this. Oh, these are the small discs, not the large ones. So these empanadas these pastelillos are gonna be small.
Wait, do you not press the edges with like a fork?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Just got ahead of myself.
You're good. I'm just a little worried because I didn't realize this was this small, and I put a lot of it in there.
You're good, Danny. The first one's never the best. Just
It
eat it.
is what it
in
is.
silence. Exactly.
I'm gonna embarrass myself. Oh my god.
It's still food though.
Just do
Yeah,
like a
but
food
the thing is
swap.
that I feel like it's gonna break because it's too, you know.
If not, try to do in another one.
Here,
Huh?
I'll send you emoji positive vibes. There. Okay.
Oh, it's weird. Yeah, this is definitely not gonna stay. I thought I bought the big Goya this. So when you do it, get the big Goya this. Don't get the small ones.
So to close it, you just press the
Follow the
edges
recipe
down and
on.
then use the fork, right?
Hmm?
So to close them, you just fold it, press the edges down, and then use a fork to
Yeah.
the edge.
So if you're using the big empanada disc for the pastelillos, and you can put two spoons, but if you're using a small disc for the pastelillos like these, you're gonna want to put one because if you don't, it's gonna be two like that, and it's probably not gonna stay sealed.
You're using cheddar cheese. Is it just your personal preference, or do other cheeses work as well?
I think other cheeses work as well, but I use cheddar cheese. I'm gonna cut these into thinner slices, or I'm just gonna put this much instead because I don't want it to do that again. You want to make it like match the edges as close as possible when you seal it.
Those pastelitos have like a certain repulgue, like a certain way of closing it, or it's always with the fork.
Um, I do it with a fork. They might have a like something to use to make it like that, but I use a fork like that.
How long do you normally fry them for?
Hmm?
How long do you normally fry them for?
Um, 5 minutes ish.
Like each side, 5 minutes, or
Five. No, like the whole thing,
okay.
or until you can see that they're like um ready, which should be like the picture I showed y'all. I'll show you like how it looks when you're ready.
Are you gonna make like a side dip or like a side thing to eat it with, or is it just
No,
the?
I mean you can do that too, but right now I'm not. I'm just making the pastelillos.
Yeah. Do you usually eat it with something, like on the
No, I've
side?
eaten them with curtido before,
Oh yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
but I usually don't eat it with anything on top or anything on the sides.
Okay.
This is so embarrassing. Oh my god.
Would you say that pastelillos are more of like a street food or a restaurant food?
Definitely more of like a home or street.
Have you had pastelitos anywhere in Charlottesville?
In Charlottesville?
Mm-hmm.
No. Not that I've like, only the ones I've made. Like, but not
Let's
like,
put up a business, Danny.
huh?
Let's put up a business.
Oh, no. Well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be because I thought it was gonna unseal, but it didn't. So that's good. But yeah, so this is kind of like how it should look. This is how it should look when it's ready. Like this.
Looks good.
Thanks. Yeah. Now I'm making my second one.
If any of the participants are making them alongside with you, feel free to show us your work and your camera. We love to see it.
Right?
If you make these and happen to have like leftover filling, can you put it in anything else, like make another recipe with it?
With this?
Yeah.
You can do anything with it. You can make like a almost like a sloppy Joe type of thing with it if you have like hamburger buns. But usually since like you can just make them you can save them and make more pastelillos like the next day. Because you have the Goya disc. You can also just use the Goya disc for other stuff too. Like one time my grandma made this like white sweet filling and then I used the Goya disc to make like a almost like a pan dulce from it. Because they can work like that too. And then I just put like white powder, like white sugar powder on top of it. The pastelillos that you make with guava though, you don't use this type of disc. They don't use that. They use something different. And they look different too. This one looks better.
That's beautiful.
It looks like the ones with guava are made with more of a puff pastry.
Yeah. Are you did you
It's
take
like-
them out?
Have you made those kinds before?
No, I do not know how to make that. But maybe I should learn because they're good. Anything with guava is good. Like they have a lot of sweet bread that has guava in it, and like I won't eat like pan dulce if it doesn't have guava in it. Like I love guava.
Those look really good, Andrea.
Yep.